Hello, I'm Morris Dimba and welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to part 2 of the outdoor advertising billboard, and let's get started. This is where we were last time, and now we want to work on the still frame where our advertising canvas will be laid on. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I want to start laying my still frame here. Now I'll go straight to steel here, and first of all, before invoking that command of steel, I want to reorient my XYZ plane. I'll come to view here, then go straight to V plane by clicking that drop down arrow right there, then pick on the first choice of work plane tool. Then the moment I click on that, I want to turn this around by picking the first option. After clicking the navigate, I want to rotate this using mouse. So the moment you pick on rotate with mouse, you pick on that, then you take a look down here. I want to rotate this, but the XYZ plane is active. It has overtaken my rotation command. Now what I'll do, I'll just right click and click interrupt, then I'll come here and give the rotation command priority. Then I'll go straight and click on rotate with mouse. It's still picking it. I'll right click first and interrupt just to exit completely from the work plane tool command, then come back to rotate with mouse. I'll pick on that, then I want to pick that point as my rotation point. There we are. Now I'll come back to work plane tool and pick on the work plane tool. Then I'll place my work plane tool right here. I want it to take the profile of this end. I'll just mouse over this end, and there we are. I've clicked on that. It has taken the profile of this side. Remember, it's not straight. It has been cut in a sloppy shape, or is not straight line. It is not in a straight line. Now I'll come to steel once again and pick on the beam. Once I've picked on the beam, I'll snap right at the bottom end here, click on that spot and go all the way and snap right here. Once I've snapped right there, I'll right click and click interrupt to exit. Now this big steel beam, it has been picked as my default size, but you can change this by just going straight to that member, then double click. So the moment you double click, these column properties will come up, and inside here you'll be able to change the appropriate steel profile and the size. Under attributes, just go straight to profile, the button just next to profile here, just click on it. This will take you to profile catalog, and there you'll be able to pick on the appropriate steel profile and size. Now we want to use a smaller size. That was slightly bigger. I'll scroll down under universal beam, then I'll pick 178 by 102. Then I'll go straight and click apply and accept that by clicking OK. Then come back to my initial window here for column properties. I'll click modify. Once I've done that, I'll go ahead and click apply, and I'll accept that. But prior to accepting that, let me check the height of this by going to position here. You can either increase the height from here, or you can just close everything. And since we've picked this profile as our default, now we will not be going back to profile catalog. It will just default on the same size. I'll come to steel here and pick on the beam. Then once again, I'll snap at the middle point here, right there, and just place my cursor on top here. Then I'll type the size or the length of the beam I want. I want 3.5. Then I'll go straight and apply that by clicking OK. Right click and exit. Still, it has picked the bigger size as my default, but no problem. We'll just go back and change that from the profile steel catalog by clicking on that select button and wait for it to load. There we are, when we have our profile catalog here. Then I'll go straight to 178 here, and universal beam 178 by 102 by 19. You can also check the steel profile size, the properties of the steel right here, and a general tab within the profile catalog dialog box. Now, having done that, go straight and apply and give it an OK right there. Then come all the way to the initial column properties, then click modify, give it apply, then give it an order by clicking OK button. Now we have it here now, but still we'll just double click on it once again and come back to column properties, because it has gone straight inside the beam, and is not this beam, and is not appropriate way to appropriate position for it to be connected. Now I'll come to position here. I want to shift this slightly out so that when I create a connection, it will be a standard way of creating that connection, type of connection. Now I'll come to position, and position, I'll go straight to vertical, then pick on this option down and click modify. You see it has shifted out, or it has moved out of this member. And now what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and click modify, apply and accept. Then I'll click on empty screen to deselect that. I'll come to view and come to navigate, and I want to rotate this. First of all, I'll pick my rotation point. I want my rotation point to be that. Then press my middle button on the mouse and hold, and I'll move that. You can be able to see you're turning this round comfortably. Same thing can be done by pressing Control button on the keyboard, then press hold the middle button on the mouse, and also you'll be able to rotate your model comfortably. There are two options. Whichever works best for you, you use it. Now I want to move it slightly down by 700 millimeter. I'll click on it, then right click and come to special move here and click linear. And before I invoke this move command, I'll check first of all the position of my XYZ. I want to move it along the Y axis. You can see that the Y axis is facing up. Now we've already fed this 700, but we've prefixed it with a negative sign because we are moving on the opposite direction. Now I'll go ahead and click move, then click OK. Right click and come to interrupt, just to exit that move command. I'll click on empty screen to deselect that member. Then I'll come to navigate, click on that, then I'll pick on the position of rotation, then turn that comfortably like that. Now I want to distribute these member along these members. Now I'll go straight to a middle point of this member, then I'll pick on this beam, right click, then come to copy, then I'll mouse over this edge right here. Then the moment I mouse over this, you'll be able to see a conical shape in orange form, means we've reached the middle point of this member. Then that is the point we want to pick it from. I'll snap right there, then move to the next member, then snap right here. That is the middle point. Then go all the way and do the same thing right here. There we are, and go to the final and snap right here. Perfect. Now what we're going to do next, we'll just mirror this after copying all those. Let me just snap right there, right click and go to interrupt to exit that command. Click on empty screen to deselect what you've selected. Then we want to mirror this end. Then we'll first of all select everything that we intend to copy on the opposite direction. I'll press Control to select members that we don't want to mirror this end. I'll deselect all this, I'll deselect that, and I'll deselect that. I'll deselect this also, then press Ctrl or go straight to navigate, click that, then come to rotate with mouse, pick on that command, then click the point of your rotation. I want to pick this part as my point of rotation. Then I'll press my left button on the mouse, then hold and turn this round. Right click and exit. Now, before creating my connection, I want to mirror this the opposite direction. What I'll do first, I'll take my XYZ plane to the global position. I'll come to view here first, then go straight to work plane tool, then pick on the work plane tool. I'll snap at the bottom end here. This usually is a default position of XYZ plane. I'll switch over to the top view. I'll right click and come to, first of all, interrupt to exit that command, then come to a special copy, then pick on mirror command, and I want to mirror these members on the opposite direction. I'll pick this point, these 2 points as my mirror line. I'll snap on that spot, then go all the way to this end and define that as my mirror line. Then go straight to a copy button, click on that, give it a nod by clicking an OK button, right click and go to interrupt to exit that command. Then you switch back to our isometric view right here, click on empty screen to deselect what was initially selected, and this is what we're having now. I'll turn this round like that, and this is what we have. Now the next step is to connect all these to our canvas frame, still frame, or framework. To access the connection commands or connection macros, just go straight to this button, applications and components button, and from here you'll be able to reach or access the macro connection tools. And we want to use this. We want to use this first. To access its window, we'll just double click on it first for us to access its window, so that we feed in our preferred settings. I'll come to standard here and click this drop down arrow here. I'll click on that drop down arrow, and from here I've already made my settings, and I'll just pick on one and load and share with you the settings that I've used. I'll click on end plate here. This is the first one that I made. I'll go straight and go to load all the settings. Once you've done that, I'll go to the first tab, which is pictures, then go to second, which is parts, and from here you can see the settings that I used. Then the third one is parameters, and the fourth one is general. There's nothing, just on default settings. Then bolds here, these are the settings. Notch, there's nothing, and design, there's nothing, and analysis, no need, just leave it on default. Once that has been done, you've clicked load, just go straight and click modify button, give it application, apply the modification, then give it a nod by clicking an OK button here. Then we'll go straight and start connection. Click on this member and click on that member, and connection will be created. As simple as that. That is, the connection has been created. So this member has been joined or connected to this beam. Just right click, click on empty screen, right click, and click redraw to remove that symbol of active macro. We don't need it right now. Then come back to end plate, numerically known as 29. Then do the same thing, connect that to that. Then do the same thing here, connect that to that. And we'll go all the way and do the same thing all the way to the other members. Connect this also to that, this one to this, and this to that one. We'll connect this and that, and move to the last one and connect that to that. We've connected all that. Right click and click interrupt, and come to redraw by right clicking once again. After exiting that connection command, I'll come to navigate and rotate this so that you can see this clearly. We'll turn that. That's okay. Now we want to start bracing these beams. I'll close this first, then I'll come to the bottom end here and go straight to steel and pick on the beam, pick on that beam. I'll snap on that far end and move all the way to this far end here and snap right there. Perfect. Right click and exit. This has been picked as our default steel profile, and we'll be changing this very often. I'll just double click on it, then this will take us to profile catalog. From here, from there we'll be able to change to the appropriate. We want to use RSA or L-shaped profile. I'll once again click on select. Once it has loaded, we'll go to RSA here, L profile, and pick on the appropriate size. I'll go straight to RSA here, and we want to use 50 by 50 by 3 millimeter thick. I'll pick on that, on the first choice, and go straight and apply and accept that, and do the same thing here under beam properties. Click modify, apply and accept. And before exiting this, we need to bring it slightly off this for it to flash with this beam. Just double click on it once again and come to position here and give it a move command. Just move it left or right. There we are, and we'll take it slightly up by coming to depth and clicking front, and still clashing with that member. What we'll do, we'll slightly move it up, slightly move it front right there, and put some dimension here to offset it upward. Just feed 50 millimeter right there and take it up. We'll apply that, and prior to pressing apply button, we want to rotate it by coming straight to rotation and pick the back position. Yeah, exactly, that is the position we want it to be on. We'll apply it now and go to view and rotate this and see how it is positioning itself with other members. Click that and turn this round. Right click and exit. We'll click on this, right click, and come to, just double click on it. We want to slightly move it off that member. We'll come here once again and just type 20 millimeter, slightly moving inward. 5 millimeter will be okay going out. Apply and accept that. Click on empty screen to deselect all that. Double click on it once again, and we want to go to position and feed here a meter and also here a meter, and see how it extends itself. It has extended that way by a meter and that way by a meter. And we'll go back and reorient our XYZ plane to take the position of this V V-shaped steel frame. I'll come to view here and pick on work plane tool and just mouse over this member and pick and click on it, right click and exit. Then pick on this member, right click and come to copy and click linear. We want to populate this member along the x-axis at a distance of 875. Distance of 875. I'll go straight and type that up, and we need 4 of that. We need 4 of them, and go straight and click copy and give it a node there by clicking OK. It has gone slightly up of the mark. I'll click on this once again, right click and come to special move, and we want to move it slightly inward, and x-axis and now y-axis will change to 0. Now coming to x-axis, we will prefix our dimension with a negative sign, and we want it to move slightly inward by 50. Let's see how it will move. Just undo that, and we'll feed here 100. 100 is okay, and it's slightly off the mark because there's no position for our cleat. Just feed 150, and that will be way off the mark. Just feed 50 here and click OK. Right click and give it an then exit by clicking interrupt. Never ever forget to save your work on every step you've made, because you never know what might happen to the power system. We want to connect this. We want to place cleats to connect these members to these beams. These beams I'm mousing over. I'll come to applications and component here, and I'll go straight and click cleat. Just cleat. I'll scroll down, double click on that, and this is the tool we are going to use. And prior to that, we want to first of all try it here. I want to connect this to this. Press on middle button on the mouse, and that has been created, but not the right way. Not the right way to work it out. Just double click on this joint and come to general here and change the position first. Let's delete that and change our XYZ plane. We'll come to work plane tool and take back our work plane tool to global position, or to a default position, and we'll come back to this. Click on that, then we want to connect this to that. Press the middle button on the mouse or undo that, and just drag that, and we want to connect this to that. Press the middle button on the mouse, and that is not the best way. Just undo. Connect that to that. Press the middle button on the mouse and click on it. We come to general here and play around with the position, how it should sit. We'll click on Y and click on that. That is not the best position. Then click positive Y. That is not the best position. Then click on positive X. That is the best position, but the cleat is too big. What we'll do, we'll come back to parts and click on this button here to change that type or the size of the cleat. Click on that, and this will take us to profile catalog. We're going to L profile here. Just scroll down to L profile L profile somewhere here and click on that. We'll work with the RSA here, and work with the 45. By 3, apply and accept that. Apply and accept that, and we'll change the bolt here. We'll come to bolt and change the bolt right here. Just drag that side, and we will work with M16, and we need a thread. We need that standard 8 by 8.8 XOX. We need some washer here, and just go ahead and press apply. Just zoom out, and we want to offset this slightly off the edge. Or what we can do, we can increase the size of our cleat to probably 50. We'll apply this, then come back to parts and change again that profile to 50 by 50, just to match the one that we are connecting. Minimize that and come to 50 by 50 right there, and pick on that. Click apply and accept. Modify. Apply and accept. And that's it. We've connected. The moment you see that green con means the connection is perfect and meets the standard. Now we'll do the same. We'll do the same connection to the remaining parts. Let me just redraw just to to remove that sign of active macro. Then we'll just continue connecting this to that. We'll connect this. Connect that to that. Press your middle button on the mouse. We'll connect this one to this one. Press your middle button on the mouse. We'll go ahead and connect this to that. Your middle button on the mouse, you have to click. We'll do the same thing here and do the same thing here. Perfect. Want to connect all this. Connect that to that and press your middle button on the mouse. Pick on the primary part, then pick on the secondary, then press your middle button on the mouse, and again start another connection. Want to connect all this, that to this to that, that to that, this to that, till we finish this. Then mirror it all the way to the other end. Connect that to that, that to that, this to that. We'll connect that to this till we reach the end of this. Let's connect this to that, and that to that by clicking the primary, then secondary. Then after that, you press the middle button of the mouse to complete your connection. Perfect. Right click and redraw. Now just select all this, then switch back to the plan view. First of all, make sure the XYZ plane is sitting or is positioned on a global position, or it is on a default position, and then we want to mirror this the other end. And prior to doing the mirroring, we first of all come back and click on empty screen. We want to connect this all the way to the bottom end here. I'll come to steel here and come to beam, pick on the beam option. Then I want to connect from this end going all the way to the bottom end. go all the way to the bottom end here and snap right here. I'll snap right there. Right click and click interrupt. Just double click once again and remove all these extensions by coming to position and change all this to 0 and click modify, apply and accept. And prior to invoking that command, just bring this to the right position, click on that, then change all this to 0, change that to 0 and click modify, apply and accept. Then we turn this round, just turn that round like that. It's not in the best position. What we'll do, just click on that and delete, and we'll come to work plane and just mouse over this edge so that our work plane tool is aligned with the end point of that member. So we'll once again come back to steel. I'll pick on steel here and pick on the beam and snap right here. I'll snap on the edge right there and move all the way to the bottom end. Move all the way to the bottom end here and snap right here. Perfect. Right click and exit. We'll turn this round, come to navigate and rotate this. That has been rotated. And if you check how this is connecting, you can see that it's now perfect. Now what we need just to move it close to these members. We'll come to position once again and just click right and see how it moves. Behind and pick the middle point. That is the position we want it to be in, but not still the best way. We'll come back here and turn this top and move it out left. We'll undo that, and that move will come here. We'll click behind. We'll undo that once again. We'll undo that, and we'll come here and click middle and see how this is moving up, and do that and come and do right. Behind that, we'll have to position this properly. This is much better, and we want to take it middle. We'll apply this and accept that. That's how we want it to be. Then we'll come to navigate and turn this round. So we need a slight extension at the bottom end here, which will be 50. Just double click on that member, then come to position here and try and feed 50 here and see how it extends itself. It has gone 50 extension. It has been joined right here. So here we'll just place a cleat. We'll connect that end with the cleat, then connect here with the cleat, then here with the cleat. You can also weld them together. Now the option is yours. We'll come here and do the same thing by reorienting our work plane tool by just activating the work plane tool and mousing over the edge in which we want our XYZ plane to align itself with. We want our work plane tool to align itself with this edge right here. Right click and exit by clicking interrupt. Then go back to steel here and pick on the beam and pick the first option of beam. I'll snap on that midpoint, then move down here and snap at the bottom end here. There we are, and I'll come to view and turn this round and check how this has positioned itself with these members. Right click and interrupt. I'll go straight and click modify, but in my case I want to weld this, but I'll do the welding once I've mirrored this the opposite direction. First of all, let me just select everything here, then press Ctrl and pick on this member. Once I've done that, and I want to take my XYZ plane to a default position, and then I'll come to work plane tool here and move it down here. Right click and exit that work plane tool command. Switch back to plan view, and I want to define my mirror line. To define your mirror line, right click and come to special copy, then pick mirror. Then this will be my mirror line. I'll define that as my mirror line, then snap on that spot. Once you've done that, you can also see the angle of mirror or the angle of copying using a mirror command. Then once you've done that, just go straight away and click copy and give it some time to process the information you've just given. Go ahead and click OK. Right click and exit to get off that command. Switch back to isometric view, then right click and redraw. Perfect. It's not seen on this end. Just come to navigate and turn this round and turn that round. Right click and interrupt, and we want now to delete this so that we can see what's happening here. Let's just delete that and delete that and also delete that so that we do this afresh. Now we'll come back to cleat and we want to connect this to that. Just undo that. Remember to apply it to save your work. Then the moment you come to navigate here and pick the angle of rotation or the rotation point. Before we rectify that cleat connection, I want to just have a look how it looks now. Now this is a V-shaped, but a flag type of advertising billboard. Now double click on the screen and give it an angle, a view angle here, then change this to 0, then I'll go ahead and click apply. That is not the appropriate angle. We can give it 180 and see how it looks. Now this is how it looks. This is the flagship type of a V-shaped but flag type of advertising billboard. Now your canvas will be laid here, and same information can be laid on the other end, or if you can afford both sides, you can use only one side, and the other end somebody can buy and lay or fix his advertisement to spread the information that spread the subject of the advert. Now this is how it looks. If I bring it close, as I told you, this one you can weld once this has been erected up, or this frame can be welded together, so when you fix it up you can carry it the whole framework, then bolt it straight to this beam by help of a very light crane. It's not a matter that you should use 20-ton crane or 18-ton. You can use these light cranes because it hasn't gone so high, so you might use a simple machine to erect this, or you can use a lot of manpower do this. Now let me switch back. Let me just press Control and turn this round, and let's go up this side and try to fix this cleat connection. But there's no need. I've showed you how to apply how to use the cleat. Now that will be the assignment for you to do. If you can do this the same thing and exactly look like this, I'll be happy that you've learned something in Tekla Structures by doing this. Let me just turn this and let me just turn this round just to show you how this V-shaped flag type of advertising billboard looks. Also, once you've done that, you can come here and place your part footing and the base column. I mean the column base will just come to work plane to concrete right here. Come to footing, pick on pad footing. What we'll do, we want to snap right at the center of this grid, these two grids where they intersect. That is the midpoint of this column. To do that, or to access that point, we'll come to view, then we'll come to navigate. We'll pick on the first option, rotate with mouse, then pick our rotation point here, then press our left button on the mouse, hold and turn round. You can see here we made a hole here so that it can create some ventilation in case of water dripping inside the pipe. It should drain all the way to the ground or find its way to the ground. Now I want to snap right at the center right there. I'll go ahead and click expand. Right click and interrupt just to exit from that command. I want to bring this close, or to take a closer look at this. This is where my pad footing is. You don't know the dimensions, just double click on the pad footing, and after double clicking, this pad footing properties dialog box will be brought to you with the dimensions. The size is 1.5 by 1.5. That is not enough. You can give it 3 so that we just be sure that our advertising board will not find it way deep in the ground, because the force that is exerting on the ground will overwhelm our concrete at the bottom end here. Now change this to 3 meters and click on that. Make it a little slightly bigger, and we'll come to position here, and the depth will be increased to maybe 2 meters. 2 meters. 2 meters is okay. Apply and accept that. We can change the color of this by double clicking on it once again, and I will come here and change this to 1. Apply and accept, and that is the color we want. We'll go ahead and place our base column. Come to concrete here and pick on the column and snap right at the center here. Snap right at the center here, and the default height of this column normally is 7 meters, and don't worry, we can change that height to 0. Just double click on it for us to access the concrete column properties dialog box, and we want to change this to 1 meter, 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 meter by 1 meter, and click OK. We can add 100 and also add 100 here, and click OK. Perfect. Now we want to change the height, because if I zoom out, you can see where the height has reached. It's very, very wrong. Now we want to take it down to 0 level, and to do that, just come to position here, and instead of 7 meters, just feed 0 right there and click modify, apply and accept that. Come to navigate and turn this round like that. Perfect. The zero is the 0 point, the zero level will not work properly, and will slightly give it some dimensions up. We can add 450 here, or 400, or 300. Let's see 300, because it has protruded up by maybe 100 here. 150, 150, 250 will be okay. Let's bring it close and check. Apply, modify, apply, and accept. Come here and click on that, turn that round. Double click on this member, on this concrete, then change the color, want that color code 1, and apply and accept that. And still would like to slightly adjust the height to probably 200 right there. Apply and accept. Do we really need grouting? We'll double click on the base plate and give it time to load. Then once we've done that, we'll come to anchor rod here. Once we've come to anchor rod, we'll go to grouting. We'll feed 50, and the bolts we can give it the anchor rods, and just give it apply. There we have our grouting there. Go ahead and click apply and accept. Our anchor rod is here. Our grouting is here, but it has gone way below our column base. To adjust this is very simple. Just double click on the column base and play around with the height once again, and we'll give it 180 right there. Perfect. Apply and accept, and that's it. Come here and turn this turn it round like that, and slightly our column base is slightly bigger, small. Double click on it and adjust the size. We'll give it 1150, and here also we'll give it 1150. We'll apply and accept that, and go here and save everything here. Now this is what we have. Perfect. The part that will be revealed to the ground is the column base. This part footing will be underground, just to deal with the force that this structure will be exerting on the ground. That one will be countered with the column base concrete. Now this is how it looks. I hope you will try this by yourself, and if you have any question, please just put that comment down there. I'll be able to help you so that you can create a similar thing by using the same measurements. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'm Maurice Dimba, and let's meet on the next presentation of this outdoor advertising billboard. We've not finished. What we're remaining with the part 3 and 4, and the 4 will be creating the drawings, and these will be shared on the civilmax.com. If you want to download, you can access the site and download it. Bye bye, I'm Maurice Dimba, and let's meet then.